Okay, so most therapists, at least in the USA, are not actually prepared to heal you and get you fully functioning, at least not in a reasonable time span. Like if they are going to heal you, it's going to, you know, 10 years minimum. Um, so why is that? Why is it so hard to find people who are effective at doing this treatment so much quicker? Um, Now it's not just because healing takes that long. That's not the truth. Now, obviously, healing can take time, especially if you're in something like denial. You know, but no, the actual process of healing can happen as quickly as your brain can process information. And if you've ever studied for a test that took place a week later, you understand that it doesn't take very long for your brain to process information. So, people who have not studied biology at all are not going to ever fully grasp psychology. Because, for example, when you get hangry, now we understand people are like, yeah, well, you need food, and so your body's going to be upset and you're going to do what you need to get food. Okay, that's fine. But what else does that tell you? That tells you that humans, at one point, were fighting each other for food due to lack of resources. And it's like, oh, awesome. Okay, that's basically the same thing, though. Okay, yeah, but what does that tell you? Well, that tells you that when you get hangry, that it's pretty damn unreasonable now to behave the same way that you would have back then. And some people get that and they're like, yeah, I'm a nice person, but they don't realize how many things that applies to in so many ways. That's just one example of how biology affects psychology. If you don't know sociology, if you don't know anthropology, you don't really know psychology. If you don't know martial arts, if you don't know about it, if you don't understand the ideas and the functions behind combat and warfare, if you don't understand math, if you don't understand language, if you don't understand architecture, if you don't understand almost anything that you see around, if you were lacking understanding, you're probably going to be lacking some understanding in psychology. So the broader your knowledge base, particularly in things that directly affect our livelihood and state of being, such as infrastructure, diet, routine, social experience, atmosphere, weather quality. Like if you actually learn about that stuff, then you'll start to really understand human psychology. Because, for example, there's one thing I noticed. I'm not sure if anyone else has caught on to this yet, but there are certain days I'll feel a change in the air pressure and I'll see it's kind of a storm system moving in, and there's a higher ratio of people acting crazy. I've noticed this for years, and I think I'm on to something. And I have to confirm that. That's on me to figure that out. But if I'm right, that'll just be another example about how psychology is lacking because of the narrow scope. People think psychology is its own field, but psychology requires understanding everything involving the human experience.